What's up, everybody, and welcome to Blue Collar Man. This is Michael, and it's been a while, but we're back. Last night we saw a terrific fight between Tszyu V Horn and Tszyu for the IBF and WBO Super Welterweight title, and it was a beatdown, ladies and gentlemen. To be fair, you can see the footage now as I'm talking over it, but it was just a one-sided affair, and Tszyu really turned it on. And also, I'm sure he's probably getting sick of the comparisons between him and his father, but really there were glimpses of his father, Tszyu, the super lightweight champion who terrorized that division for so long. It really was a class act on Tszyu's part. The power, the footwork, the movement, the crisp and accurate punching, went to the body, went to the head. I think he put Tszyu V Horn to the canvas. I think he sent him to the canvas twice, once in the third round and once in the sixth, I believe. But you'll see that anyway as you watch the highlights here. But really, it was very classy by Tszyu, and he definitely has stardom. He's headed for the big time, absolutely. And once this whole global thing clears up, and you know what I'm talking about, I can't say the name because there's a risk that I'll get shadow banned, or at least the video will get buried in the algorithms if I mention the name, the virus that must not be mentioned. But once that clears up, we should see fights on a more regular basis, and I'm sure Tszyu will head out to the world and take on some worthy opponents in the super welterweight division. But it was really just very, very, very crisp, precise striking from Tszyu. And as you're watching now, you can just see the movement, very fresh, and also the hunger as well, because I think, let's face it, Tszyu V Horn is obviously at the end of his career now. I'm sure he'll get back to teaching, and I think he's done Australia proud. He's been a great ambassador for the country, and I'm sure his loss will be cheered on by all the Manny Pacquiao fans who are still probably a little bit sour after his victory in Queensland all those years ago. But that's fine. The man is a warrior. But unfortunately, I think that's it. And I'm sure Glenn Rushton, probably his head coach, could have stopped the fight a little earlier, because he really did cop a beating. Like I said, to the body, to the head. It was constant, and you'll see Tszyu digging to the body, constantly going there and sucking the air and oxygen out of Tszyu V Horn throughout the entire fight. So what's next for Tszyu? Well, that's a good question, and I'm glad I asked it. I think he's got a way to go before he can fight for something like a WBC Super Welterweight title, but I think it's definitely in his capability to do so. Once again, I keep coming back to this, and I did a video a long time ago about Tszyu as he was just starting out in his career. I drew comparisons between him and his father, and and I keep coming back to that. I think fighting is definitely in the genes, it's in the blood, it's in the DNA of this family, and I absolutely see him as a superstar one day. But he's going to go up against some really, really stiff competition, some really tough guys like Jamel Charlo and Erislandy Lara with that Cuban southpaw style of fighting. So he's got a lot more experience that he needs to get under his belt before he can challenge the WBC Super Welterweight title, any of those big titles. But I'm just thinking some of the guys that he might get, because he's also fought southpaws before, but these are the lower ranked fighters, so it would be a really great test for Tszyu to go up against guys like Erickson Lubin would be a good example, I think. It's got that Cuban style of boxing, very slick style, southpaw stance, very difficult opponents, great footwork. In that long tradition and history of Cuban fighting, I think would be an excellent test for Tszyu. But there are other more experienced fighters that would be a great test for Tszyu. Guys like Jarrett Hurd, I think, would be a super durable fighter. I could see that one going the full distance with that fight if that was made. He's a very tough, he's a heavy-handed fighter, but a tough, durable fighter in Jarrett Hurd from the States. Gelson Rosario would be another great matchup, I think. And one matchup that I can think of off the top of my head is actually a top 5 fighter, but Kell Brook, I think, would be an excellent matchup for Tszyu, only because Kell Brook, again, is another fighter who's sort of towards, much like Jeff Horn, is kind of towards the end of his career, if we're being realistic. And he's got a ton of experience. I think he's got over 40 fights, only a couple of losses. He would be a great matchup because he's sly as a fox in that ring. Very durable, again, really tough, and has some power. And it would be interesting to see how Tszyu does against an opponent like that. So there's just some matchups that I'm thinking would be good for Tszyu before he takes a shot at a title fight for something like the WBC title belt. And I'd like to see a promotion pick up Tszyu because I think he's exciting. He is exciting to fight, to watch, and I like his style. It's a crisp and fresh style of fighting. So anyway, these are some matchups that I'm just thinking off the top of my head would be good to see. But you know, it's up and up for Tszyu. He's got a long way to go. I think a long career ahead of him. And Jeff Horn, commiserations. It's you know, I think your career is winding down, lad. But you've been, as I said, a great ambassador for Australia, a great fighter, and you know, a really great role model for kids as well. So Jeff Horn, excellent career, but I think maybe it's time to hang up the gloves. And Tszyu, yeah, you know, it's up and up for him. So anyway, that's it for myself and this channel, Little Collar Man. I'm out, and we'll see you next round.